Hello everyone, and welcome to the 5th stream about making the animation blend in State Machine Editor. And yeah, it's been quite a while since last stream, and as you can see, there's also quite a lot of changes. I created the transitions, so there is now a transition between states. And also, what else? Let's check the commits. And sorry that I didn't do that on stream. I was a bit busy, so yeah. So basically, since the last stream, what I have done. Let's see. All right, so I added the commands for let's start again. I added the data model for the states, for the transitions, and so on, and also I added the command stack. As you can see, this is the command stack. A single command, that is add state command. Basically, that means that you can create state, then go to edit, that is new too, undo or redo, and also create some new states, do undo, and do redo. And what else? Yeah, basically added the transitions, so they are working now. However, there are still quite a lot of work because we don't have an ability to save, to create transitions. There is no such functionality yet. This is a hard-coded transition that is created somewhere in here. Yes, so I did that for tests. So I create the data model, which is machine definition, and two states, which is state, other state, and the transition. And as you can see, state and other state and transition, and these were added just now. So today I want to be able to create transitions by clicking create transition. So, and also we want to draw a small arrow that will indicate the direction of transition. Also, there is a need to support multiple transitions. So right now, if we will try to create multiple transitions, they will overlap. They will use a single line, and to make multiple transitions, we should somehow push one from another. So there should be a space in between them, and also what is planned else is basically a separate inspector which will be showing the properties of nodes, of transitions. We can select a thing and see its properties somewhere in here. The same thing as an inspector. So yeah, let me show you that if you don't know what I mean. Something like this. I still don't know if... I'm pretty sure that Unity does some kind of the same thing. Maybe the Unreal Engine does the same thing too, but I'm not sure. So also, what else? We need a previewer, something like this, where we will be able to see our character model. It is small, but you should see it. So we should have the same thing in here, and also we want to have the docking manager in this window. So basically we want to have the multiple panels in here. like inspector, the variables panel which will have variables for this for the machine that will control how the transitions work. And also there is a need to have multiple layers. So by layer I mean we should be able to double click on state and go to the animation graph, which will have an ability to like connect multiple animation nodes, like play animation, blend animation, and do the like write stuff to a node that is back in this state. So, and probably we also should have some sort of these so-called breadcrumbs, which is like showing you the path that you are currently in. So, and it is also allows you to like select stuff, and that will show our location in here. So if we will go to state, it will show like route and the state, and we will be able to go to route by clicking on route and sorry, something like this. What else? All right. So that's the plan. Probably I should create maybe a mock-up for this. I don't know if it's really needed. And also we should have a file menu, a view menu, which will be able in which we will be able to show and hide some panels in here. And also I probably do some experiments with multi-window configuration. I mean, by multi-window configuration, I mean the native windows. So as you can see, even if we will like maximize the window, we still cannot move this window to other screen. So I'm streaming only one screen, so I can show you the second one. And also so basically the multi-screen configuration is like improving quality of life, and yeah, but that's not important really. So we probably should concentrate on like not concentrate, focus on other things, important things like great transition. So the very important parts. So yeah, let's start from something simple. I want to draw an arrow in here on the transition. So to do that, we need to draw an oriented rectangle, and in here I want to get the axis, and the axis will be self this position minus self source position, and push push rectangle in the drawing context. Oh no, that's not what I want. All right, it should be push triangle filled, and that will be a set of 3 vertices. So we need to know basically what we need to do. Let me draw a picture. So imagine we have a line and we want to create something like No, not so ugly, but something like this. And we'll want to create a rectangle, not a rectangle, a triangle. That will be like so. So what we need to do, we need to get this axis by subtracting the destination position, by subtracting the source position from destination position, and then we should get a perpendicular to the line, and basically create 2 points, one in here, one in here, and the third point will be exactly on the line. So once we know what we know, what we need, we can start creating such vertices. I'm pretty sure I do have, yes, the perpendicular function. Right. So basically this is the perpendicular. All right. All right, this will be normalized to have identity length. Oh, hello. And in here we need to, what's this? What it accepts? All right. Equals 2. So I probably also need to know where the center of the line is. So basically we want to build this triangle around some center point. So to get a center point, we need to do this. Scale. And that will be plus. So, and this will be center. All right, now we have center, perpendicular, and we can start building our triangle points. So let's start from the point. Actually, this should be normalized too. And the first point will be this point, then this, and the last one will be this. Okay. So we need to get center plus some small value. We should probably have 10. We should probably have a triangle which of length maybe 10 pixels. So that will be 10. That will be axis scaled by 10. All right. Second point will be center minus axis scale by 5. Probably not minus, but plus. And that will be minus. All right, something like this. No. Not the axis, but perpendicular. And let's try that. Yeah, as usual, I'm building the release mode because It saves a lot of time when we testing stuff, because the editor is very heavy and it has like bad performance when it compiled in debug mode. So basically it is awful. So the release is building a bit slower, but it is running faster, much faster. I decide the triangle to have the bottom at the middle of the line. Ah, why it's so hard to read? As you can see, there is a triangle, but it's small. So yeah, let's do this. Size be equal to this. Be no, this, and this. It's hard to. It is a bit annoying to tweak such things and wait while it compiles every time, but. So I want to, like, I hope I understand your question right. So basically, this is the center, and I'm basically creating this line from center, and these, like, not the line, that two points, two vertices, and one in here, which is having the offset from here to here, and these 2 points have an offset in the perpendicular by half of this length, so something like this. All right, as you can see, it works. Let's rotate, and that works. That's cool. In any configuration, yeah, it works fine. All right. And also, what about it also, the reaction on the mouse cursor. As you can see, I like when I hover the mouse over the transition, it like glows a bit. Okay, so the next step will be what it will be. Yeah, well, let's create. Let's make other ability to create transitions. Right now there is no way to create transition. Right. That should be somewhere in right in here. So okay, so this this will be called when we will click on the create transition, like in the context menu, and in here we should force the editor to be in create transition mode. I think we should create an enumeration called editor mode, and in here create transition mode. So the source will be a handle to some state node, and what else? What it's needed also probably should have the the destination position, maybe. That will be vector 2, 32. Also probably we should go in here and all right, so I'm still not sure where the mode should be stored. Probably it should be inside the canvas, because the canvas also have other modes, like there's also a normal mode where when you can click and drag stuff. Probably the mode this canvas should have multiple modes, not the editor. I think so yeah, if we will have the mode inside the editor, then nothing will stop us from starting dragging the nodes while we creating the transition. But I don't want that to be the case, so probably we should move that to canvas. Where's the canvas? It's here. All right, and that will be mode, and that will be, I don't know, some normal mode. And in the normal mode, we will be able to interact as usual, but in the create transition, we will be able to just click on some other node that will be interpreted as a destination node, and we will basically confirm the creation of new transition, and then the canvas will be switched to the normal mode again. Something like this should work, I think. Okay, so yeah, probably this should work. Let's try that. And also probably that will be yeah, probably this should be, yeah, probably we should move drag context in a separate mode, which will be drag mode. And we don't need the context. So basically, this means that we will have either like normal mode, which will be able to select stuff. Will be like able to drag stuff by when we will be in drag mode, and also we will be able to create transitions. Okay, that should work. All right, so probably we should move that in here then. Let's check. So yeah, probably this will work. Checks if the drag context is not empty. Yeah, and in here, depends on the mode, we can probably, yeah, depends on the mode. We can create, not the create, but do the proper action. So yeah, that's small refactoring that should be done, but that's okay. So no more option in here. Mode, right. And the mode will be normal. So in the normal mode, we'll be able to drag view, select stuff, and so on. But yeah, we should also do this self mode. And here, when we will click on a node while we are in a normal mode, we should create, we should switch the mode to NodeDrag. And as a drag context, we'll have this. Oh, please. Okay. Right. In case of create transition, we will handle that later. We should ensure that the dragon will still work. All right. And in case if we are releasing mouse button and we are in drag mode, then we should switch the mode to normal. And I don't know, probably let's ignore the rest. And in case of mouse move event, we should do this if let mode drag self mode like this, and that will be all right. This is immutable, I think. That'll be ref drag context. Let's find out if it even compiles. All right, it's not satisfied. Let's go to the compiler a bit. As you can see, the editor is pretty big right now, so it has some like 7 files, like 300 lines. In here, almost 500, like 100. This almost 100. So there is a lot of lines of code already. So maybe at the end it will be like 5,000 lines, I think, or maybe even more. So yeah. So let's check if the dragon works. And it does. All right, we didn't break anything, and we can start on the create transition mode. All right. The create transition mode should be doing all right, right, so we should decide how to switch to that mode and what to do if we are in that mode. All right. For this, probably should have a message for the canvas. Let's steal some code from here. Go to I don't know, here. That will be the ASM canvas message. And for the message, which mode? Import that. This, which mode? I'll accept mode. Okay, so the context menu will send this message to the canvas, and we should handle that in here. Somewhere in here. Let's see, let ADSM canvas message switch mode equals to message data array. And in here we can do just this mode equals to mode alone. Probably we should also like check if other mode is active. So there might be a situation when we have some mode active, like create transition mode is active, and then we click right click on the node and I don't know, or not this, but start while we're dragging something, and then we click on the node by right click, and I'm not sure if it is possible to do this, but we will see. So that is like the future, not for now. Okay, and we should go into here and in, where is that? Yes, in here. So this context menu should know about canvas and node context menu canvas will be canvas, and that should be mutable. So canvas will be default in the new, since we're setting it later. And in here, when we click in the create transition, we basically should tell the canvas ABSM canvas message to switch to a mode all right, it is private, so we should not leak them that in the we should not leak that in the global space. So we should like ensure that this will be available only in this module. All right, it's available now, and we should get some variables in here. So we need to know which is the source, and that will be a position, but the position of the cursor, since we will have let me show you that. Can I please have an arrow in here? Right. Whatever. So when we will create in a transition, we should also render a line from a source to the cursor. So basically, in that create transition mode, we don't need to hold the mouse button, but it will be like following the cursor. And when we click on some node, it will create the transition. So that's the plan. So I think it will work intuitively and we will not frustrate the user. So, however, another obvious way to create transition would be to click on a node, drag, which will create a transition, and then when we will release the mouse button, it will confirm the transition. So there are two ways, and I'm still not sure which is preferable. Probably the way when we have a context menu and explicit like menu item called create transition, that will be less like, I don't know, prone to errors, some sort of so that will ensure that we won't create it. We will not start to create a transition while we like want to drag a node. Okay, so there's also a way to create nodes by having a not this color, please, something like this, and no, this is huge. By having some sort of border, which will be like which behavior will be different. So when we will start dragging on the that black rectangles, we will be actually dragging the node. But if we will start dragging on this border, orange border, that will mean that we want to like create a transition like this. And when we will release the button on like some other node, like so, it will create a new transition. It will confirm the creation. And if we will like release the button if we don't have anything under the cursor, so basically that will cancel the creation. So something like this. But yeah, let's stick to the initial plan with the create transition. I wonder how the Unity does that. Let's check that. Let's start it at least, because it takes eternity to start. Right, so in here we want to know on which node we have opened this context menu, and that will be the placement target of the pop-up which we have in here. So basically pop-up do have the placement. So it knows on like above which node it was opened. So as you can see, there's a handle to a node at which above which it was opened. So all right, I should that's just so to be able to see the contents of this window, I should drag it at least once. Genius. All right, so I can show you that in menu in here. So as you can see, it also this no, that's the bad example. I don't know where to. All right, let's go back to this editor. All right, let's see how the Unity does that. So it does not allow us to create a new transition by dragging a state node, but if we will click, it will create a make transition. So basically, I want to emulate this functionality. So right now I'm not pressing any mouse buttons, but if I will press the mouse button, the left mouse button, it cancels the creation. But if I will click on a node, like it sticks to a node, and I will confirm the creation. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. Right, in here we should extract the placement placement target. Let's call call that node like so. And to do that, probably we should handle a special message called placement. Let some pop-up message, and that will be placement. And so yeah, I don't remember how to use it. So we should find an example in here. All right, so this is how it should be done. So that's the material editor, and in here you can like there is a context menu for texture fields that allows you to focus the texture in asset browser. So basically to find your texture in asset browser. So you have a preview, and you click on that, and click on how it goes, the find target or something like this, and it will show you the texture in the asset browser. And we basically want the same functionality. Placement in here. Placement cursor, and that will be what it accepts. All right, the target equals to sorry big so this message comes when we click on some node that have a pop-up, a context menu with a pop-up, and in that pop-up, when it opens, not when it opens, but yeah, when it opens, it sends the placement message. and basically it tells you where it was placed, under which, above which node, above which widget. And yep, I understand what you're talking about, but what is the mode for? I tried to explain that like 10 minutes ago. The mode is to have multiple modes. Like, let me show you that on example. So in this editor, this is the Unity, and in the Unity you have, in this editor, you have few modes. Like you can, this is the normal mode when you can select stuff, and then you can switch to drag mode by starting dragging stuff. So now we are in drag mode. So as you can see, if I will try to right click on the node and to create a transition, it won't allow me because we are in drag mode. But if I will release the button, it will switch to normal mode again, and from normal mode I can show that menu and switch the canvas into another mode, which will be the make transition mode. And that will not allow me to like select. You can like even see that the nodes like interacting with mouse, it like does not respond. But in when I click on a node or like not a node, but on some free space, that will either commit the creation or it will cancel it. So I hope that is like that helps you to understand what I mean. All right, good. Okay, so in here we should remember the placement target node self placement target will be target. So all right, and we also should check if message destination equals to self menu. We don't want to respond to any other placement events. We only want to respond to this, to messages or events. You can call everything in like either ways. And placement target will be default, which is handle none. All right, so now we should fetch the source in here. So the source transition will be source transition will be a node under the left corner of the pop-up. All right, so we need to find that. Let me explain why I need to find the node and why I cannot use the placement target as it is, because a node could also have some child nodes. As you can see, the node have the background and it also have the text builder. So I could just click on the text and the placement target, it probably will be the text, but I'm not sure right now. I'm really not sure because the context menu should open with a target that is a node that was clicked, right-clicked. That and that node should have the context menu assigned, so probably we are fine. So yeah, as you can see, even I wrote this. Even if I wrote this UI library, I can't remember how it works because it is huge. That's okay. I can at least I can check the source code, but now I understand that there is a need in documentation. Someday I will find time to create that documentation. Someday. All right, so the source in this case should be the self placement target, but we can ensure for tests that the placement target is a node of correct type, and we should do this placement target cast. Not the cast, probably the query component will be much more reliable. In this case, ABSM state node is some. Okay. And as the test position, we should take the position of the mouse and translate that to the local coordinates of the canvas. And basically this code does what we want. And in here, instead of screen position, we want to pass the Y cursor position, and that will be this position. All right. Basically, when we will click on a menu item and select, not the select, and then we will create, and we will switch the mode to create transition mode. I'm not sure if we need to set the position in here. Probably we do. But that looks like utility code. So a helper code. And probably it's worth to move that to a helper method, maybe a helper function. A helper method would be a method inside the canvas. But also, this looks like a stuff for the UI library itself, and for widget probably for this. And in here we could just do a fan. Screen to local. We be 32, and that will be vector 30. This. Okay, import that and do this, and make sure that it will be in line across grades. All right, that's solves the code duplication problem. And then here, instead of this chain, we can do this. Bring to local. And take this. And get rid of a few lines of code. Right, now it fits in the single line. And that's cool. All right. Can also do this. But why? Why your browser can play this video? That's strange. Maybe I have some weird setup. I don't know. That will be available in recording, so no problem. Like, no worries about that. All right, so back on track, and in here we should change this to the same screen to local, screen position, right? So let's go. The less code, the better. Right, let's go to canvas. And on canvas, we should handle the mode, the create transition mode. Also, let's do this. Mode create transition, and it will be, yes, this. Probably we also should have a source position in here. So basically, when we are moving the mouse button, the mouse, not the button, we should update the position. Ref mutable. All right, it's never used. Do this. And the destination position will be self green to local y cursor position, and that will be a new value for test position. All right, so, and also we should draw the transition in here, the new transition on the canvas, directly on the canvas. But to do this, we probably should steal some code again, and we will steal that from... Am I blind? Where is the transition? What's the weird stuff? All right, it was hidden. Me. All right, so let's do this. Draw transition, and I will accept this source position vector 2. At some day I will create a type aliases for this, because writing this is freaking annoying, but I'm too patient for that. So that's okay for now. And the destination post will be the same stuff, and we can do this context self source pose, self, test pose. All right. And we also should cut all right, it should commit the clip bounce, not the clip bounce, it should commit the dropping command. But for this, we should have the clip bounce and foreground, and probably, sorry for the noise, that's my parrot. It's crazy today. And here should have brush, and clip bounce to 32. And as for clip bounce, that will be this, that will be brush, and do no this, so we should replace self with none. All right, draw transition and fix that self clip bounce, self foreground. All right, so we can now use this in the canvas. Yeah, that's weird. I'm still not sure why people can't see the video. This is the first time that this happens. Alrighty, so in here, in the canvas, if we are in the create transition mode, self mode, let's replace that with this. Transition. What? All right, there are two transition modules. What? All right, it has different name. Context. So for the clip bounce, we need to use the clipping bounce of the canvas. And for this brush, let's use solid color white. We need to like draw attention to the transition being created. The usual transitions, they are like gray, and these should be white. So the source position in this case, okay, we can fetch that in here by using. No, actually we can't, because this does not provide any access to the UI, so we can't do that. But we can source those. We need that. We still need that, but this is needed too. So let's go to here, and the source position will be, it will be the position of placement target. Actual local position. All right. You can see it fine. That's good. All right, now we have everything we need to draw stuff. All right, in here, when we're drawing, we don't need the source, but we need the source position. and we can skip everything else. Alrighty, and in here, source position, this position. Okay, and that should be enough. If we did everything as it should be, then it should work. All right, it will take some time to compile. Okay. What's missing here? All right, it should be debug and partial equality. And that's unused. This can also collapse these imports as we just because we can. For fuck's sakes, why it keeps compiling stuff? Please stop. And do the same in here. And there is also a warning in here, arrow direction. Arrow direction, make arrow primitives. We don't need that. Vector image builder, we don't need that. Right. Okay. And that should compile now. Alright, it complains about this stuff. Could you please stop? Alright, borrow checker is not happy. But why? Why it is not happy? Because... Alright, because we are borrowing stuff in here, and then we're borrowing self. So, at first we're borrowing self mode, and then we are trying to borrow the self again, which all right, we can bypass that, but I don't like this solution. Oh, fuck it, let's do this. Let local cursor position. That is okay. And now it does not like that I have private type and public API. And drag context to, and probably, yeah, the entry should be private. Bind is never constructed. What? Aha. That's because we don't use this method. I really like the warnings that the compiler it points you that you have some bug in your code. And let's go to here. Self node context menu message nodes UI. And now it shouldn't complain at all. Ah, 30 seconds. Will that be 40 seconds? No. All right, let's test that. Let's create another state. Click on create transition. All right, that works, but we still need to fix the source position. It should be center. And we also should confirm the creation by clicking on the node, on some node, not this node. All right. Yeah. Yes, let's go to canvas. Go to yes, the source. God damn it. Right, so we should modify that source position in here. Source node ref will be equal to this. Source position pause will be source node ref. Probably I should also create a helper function that will be called center. And that will return a vector. I'll be self actual local position plus self size actual size scaled by this. All right, that will all right. We can do this and get rid of that. Center, and let's figure out if it works. It should be. And that assert is not firing, which is a good sign. That was right. So why do we need to store the placement in here and then use it in here? Because we cannot like fetch the placement from the pop-up. I'm still not sure if it is like a design or it is just a bug in here. I should provide an access to this somewhere in this implementation. Yeah, I don't know. Probably that's the good way. And also provide access to these fields. Yeah, there's a room for improvements. All right, so the new transition is starting in center, which is good. Now we need to confirm the creation. And to confirm the creation, we should go to here. So that will basically mean that when we will select some node and we are in create transition mode, then we will create a new transition only if we are clicking on some other node that is not the source of this message, because we cannot create a transition to self. So basically, when we are click create transition on a node and try to like create transition to the same node, that is like absolutely like that's absolutely wrong. It shouldn't be possible to do. And also we should all right. Okay, there is a problem. So as you can see, we're handling the mouse down message in here, and also we're handling the selection, and that means that we cannot cancel the creation of new transition. Close that. As you can see, we can we can cancel the creation by clicking on empty place or pressing the escape button. So we should probably handle that in here, I think. Yeah, we can handle that in here because it is also it will be sent to you only if you are clicking on some state. But we also want to be able to like cancel the creation by clicking on some other place. All right. And to do that, we should can I please switch that to... No, it is not possible. All right. I wanted to use the match, but that's okay too. Mouse button left. And in here I want to basically handle on the rate transition mode. So if we are clicking, we need to check what's under the cursor. And to do that, probably should yeah, we should see what's the origin of the message and go up on tree and find and see if the like if there is a parent of type of of node type, and if it does, that means that we have clicked on some node. And if we don't have ABSM state node in our hierarchy, that means that we are clicking somewhere else. So we can receive that message either from like click on a node or on the canvas itself. So in here we should do this. So let me think how it should be done. Okay, so there is a possibility that this message will come from the canvas itself, but there is like a design issue, or not the issue, but like feature that if you are inside this method, you cannot reborrow the node again. So basically, you have the node as mutable and the user interface as mutable, which means that the node, it was moved out of the user interface to perform this action. So basically, it is not inside the user interface anymore. That is temporarily to be able to like remove nodes while you are in this method, or not just remove, but also to create some other nodes. So we should handle that edge case in here by comparing if the message destination equals to self-handle, or from like at this point, like, in here we should take a reference to the node, but there will probably be a lifetime mismatch. Yeah, so probably we should, yeah, let's handle that separately, and then we will create a function that will remove the duplicated code. So in here, find by criteria up, we have special method to do the traversal of the tree. And in here, I'm still not sure what it accepts. All right, it accepts the function that is returning nodes, and we should find ABSM cast state node. Okay, so and that will be test handle, or maybe test node handle. And in case if we are if you have clicked on something else, we should do this UI node message destination, and basically perform the same stuff in here. All right, so that should be our state node. And in this case, if it is some node at like commit region, and otherwise we will switch the mode. So we basically want to switch the mode in either way, in either cases. So we are just switching the mode in here, and the mode will become normal. Basically, right now it should switch to normal mode when we will click on, when we will just click on anything, and that will switch the mode back to normal. This will be handled in a few minutes, but I want to ensure that it will work. And we'll find out just in a second. create transition. All right, it works. Perfect. So, but we also need to handle click on some node. And in this case, if we have found something, we should execute the command that will create a node, not the node, the transition inside the data model. And then to create a view part of that stuff, we will call where is that? The synced model. So basically, when you're doing something inside the UI, you're creating a command that will modify the data model, basically your ABSM definition, and then you sync the state of the UI with the state of the data model. Basically, it's probably called something like MVC, model view controller pattern, or there's also model view model approach that is like widely used in WPF framework. So if you have worked with such thing before, that shouldn't be there shouldn't be anything new for you. All right, so but how to like pass the command from the editor? There are two ways. We can send a message from the canvas that basically tells us that we are creating a transition from the state node view to other state node view, basically working just in terms of UI code and does not mix it with data model code. And that is probably the preferable way of doing things. So we will not mix the UI code and the data model code, which is always a good thing. You basically have two isolated parts that does not know anything about each one. Right, so we should go to Canvas, and in Canvas we should define a new message, commit transition, and in here we'll pass source node. As you can see, it is UI node, basically means the state node, and the destination node, which will be the destination view node view. By view I mean the widget itself, right? So yes, and we should create a new constructor for that. That will be commit transition, and that will be this. All right. So in case of this commit creation, we should send message, and that will be ABSM canvas message. And that will be commit. Excuse me. Why it is not happy? All right. Should be this. Is it? All right, it probably. All right, now it can be. So commit transition, and we will send that from self message direction from widget. That basically means that there is something happened inside the canvas, and that is the message for our outside world, not like for the inside. As you can see, there are two, which basically means that when you are sending something to the widget, you're using the to widget, and when you like making a response, you're creating a from widget message. Basically, there are two directions, and here the source will be source, and the destination will be this node handle. All right, and now we need to catch this message inside the handle UI message. So if let some APSM canvas message commit transition message will be equal to message destination. No, not destination. Data. Am I smoking? And replace with actual fields. And if that message, if message destination equals to self canvas, and message direction equals to message direction from widget. In this case, we need to send message to self by send message to self. I mean, there is a sender for the internal ABSM messages. That is not the message, not the UI message, but the internal messages. Like there is a do command message, undo, redo, clear command stack, and probably there will be some more in the future. So we'll basically send that to this queue, and this queue will be like pulled later in the update. It will extract messages one by one and execute the stuff. We don't need to execute the commands in here because it requires some context. As you can see, this is not so simple, and yeah, probably that is a good way to do things. Just send a message, and the editor will handle that in the correct way. So, and that will be do command. All right, so that is not the end. We should also create a separate command for that, and that basically will be a copy of this command. And that will be add transition command, transition definition. All right. Probably there is a it is a good approach to create a macro that will create like these boilerplate code. But that's for later. Again, I don't have too much time, so probably like 15 minutes left. And I hope I will be able to do that in time. God damn it, I should do this. Add state command replace that with this. Alrighty. And what it does not like. All right, I messed up types. So basically, the command is actually modifying the state of the data model, and it also contains execute, revert, and finalize methods. Basically, execute is called when you executing the command. It does something depending on the state of the command itself. So basically, if you not yet executed the command, it adds the transition into the transitions pool and saves the handle. And if it is reverted, then it basically tells to put basically puts back the node the transition back to the pool. And if you're reverting, you can revert only from the executed state, and when you reverting, it like switches to the reverted state. All right, back to this. And in here, what it wants the transition definition. And as you can see, there's a lot of stuff we should provide. And this is just the debug name. That will be transition, and the transition time will be 1 second. And transition rule, that will be none for just for some time. We'll fix that. And transition command, bsm command, new. Alrighty, and we need to provide these states, the handles to states. But we have handles to nodes, and that is important because we should fetch the model from the node. As you can see, the view contains handle to its respective model, and we need to take that and pass that in here. And there's a code to do that. Yes, there is. Let me steal that. Alrighty. Let's source. Source will be source. Yeah, that is the variable shadowing, but that's okay. Now the destination, that is copy paste code because I don't have too much time to write it correctly, but it should work. All right, and the moment of truth, will it even compile? Let's find out. So it is somewhat convoluted way to communicate between parts of the editor, but it provides like the decoupling, and this decoupling is very important. So you should not mix the UI code with the data like handling code, and if you do that, then you're like asking for trouble. Because the refactoring will be a pain in the ass in the future. So as you can see, it works. And as you can see, I can undo my changes and then redo, and that works perfectly. So it works, as you can see. Basically, we have created a way to basically create transitions, but if we will do this, it overlaps, and that is not what I want. It actually looks more or less okay, but that will be hard to select the transition to like to edit it in the future. So we should provide a way to make sure that they will not overlap, but that's for the next stream probably. And in the next stream, probably we'll start to create an inspector in here that will allow us to modify properties of the nodes and properties of transitions. So yeah, so basically we did everything that was planned, and that's very cool. So yeah, thanks for watching, and bye.